showtime.
BS and Beer Media in association with STWF TV, the podcasting network. We present to you BS and Bourbon. And now here's Craig and Dale.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to BS and Bourbon. Yep, we got Craig today, but we've also got Kyle in the building. What's going on, guys?
Oh, I'm so excited. Woo!
What's going on, Craig? What you up to over there?
Oh, man, I'm packing a house and lugging boxes and furniture around and drinking way too many beers. So if you all need to carry me through this thing, it's only because I'm really drunk.
Wait, beers. What are we talking about? Beers. This isn't BS and beer.
I am never prepared for this show. We have bourbon on the beer run, and I bring beer to the bourbon. Man, I can't get it straight.
That's right, BS and Bourbon. So, Kyle, let's start with you, man.
Oh man, I haven't done a show in a long time. I shaved my face and everything. Yeah. You know, looking sharp, trying to get my podcast game back on.
There you go. All right. Well, what you have to drink today, man?
I'm drinking bourbon, man. This is BS and Bourbon. We said this is BS and Bourbon. This is courtesy of our beautiful mother. She loves us. For Valentine's Day, instead of giving us chocolates, we grew out of that. Okay. This is called Brothers Bond.
Yeah.
Kyle, you didn't grow out of chocolate. Shut up.
No, but they're gone. I ate all of them, obviously. So this is good. I mixed it in with a little bit of this, a little bit of old school Coca-Cola. I got a whiskey Coke going on. Through my first one. The first one I made was way too strong, but I guess that's kind of how you should do it. Okay. It's not bad. It's the two dudes from Vampire Diaries, and they got the Brothers Bond crafted tradition of all great bourbon. It's dope. I like it. I'm enjoying it.
All right. Craig, what kind of beer are you drinking today, bro?
Well, I wanted to have something unique and special, but I'm about my 12th Miller Lite in, so I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah. I would say you probably should go ahead and stick with that one. So yeah,
I got a couple of Stone IPAs in the fridge too. I got some of my favorite beer in the world, real good stuff. But it's like 7.5% alcohol, and I'm already right about here, and I'm trying not to crash that plane. You feel me?
Yeah. Don't crash the plane. We need you. So you stick around here, bro. You stick around. Okay, well, I am drinking some Maker's Mark there. So
yummy.
Nice and smooth. I did have just a little bit left of Bird Dog Peppermint.
Nice.
Put that in here too. So we experiment.
Well, you put the peppermint bourbon in the Maker's Mark.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're a weird guy, Dale. You're a weird guy.
I just a little bit, man. I couldn't let it go to waste. I didn't want to just do it by itself. I decided I'm gonna put this in a glass too. So yeah.
Well, it's peppermint, so you can just drink that instead of brushing your teeth. It's the same thing, right?
Hey, maybe maybe the ladies will like that. You know.
That is gnarly. No.
Was it Kesha that said you can brush your teeth with a bottle of Jack? I'm just saying we're following the trends, man.
That is true. She did say that, and I'm
still
very surprised. Yes, I'm very surprised you knew that.
Okay. All right, then. Well, let's get started with the show here. Tons of Saint news out there. Tons of it. I mean, everywhere you look, it's Saints news out there, bro.
We got a little. We got some.
We got some
Saints news.
Yeah,
we got 2 safety news items. We have other teams not able to do what we're doing and falling apart at every instance. I mean, there's some stuff going on.
Okay. 2 safety news items.
That's right. Someone's not keeping up.
Okay. Well, you inform me when we get to this section. But
expert in the building.
Let's start off with our first safety news. Boom, right there. Marcus May will be released when the season starts. This move can save up to $7 million in 24 cap space. We will see how they designate him. It's probably just going to be maybe a post June 1st cut, and then they can spread it out a little bit. Who knows what they decide to do? But this is the news we got. Marcus May will be released. How does that make you feel about safety coming up for the season here? Because this was your starting safety here, Craig. What do you think?
I mean, he was starting safety half of the year.
Yeah.
And half of the year before that, he's played in exactly half of the games that we've been on the team since we signed him. So
17 games in 2 years, yeah.
As much as it's a loss because he was a quote-unquote starter, and he did play well when he played, and he wasn't a bad player, I don't think it changes your outlook. You know, the plan, I think, was always for Howden to kind of take that role. I think it's kind of lined up for that. I don't know if I trust him yet to do it. I could see addressing it in free agency, but you were always going to have to do something about safety. They're too old to kind of rely on those two guys.
Okay. Kyle, what you think there?
I don't know. I was always kind of a fan favorite of May, but that whole 17 games in 2 seasons really kind of hurts. Like, that's the one thing you need. You need stability.
Right.
And especially safety position, like your safety valve, you need some stability, and he was just not. He couldn't stay healthy. I do think he played well. I really wanted to see him do well. When he came over, from New York?
Yeah. Man,
I was stoked. I thought it was a great pickup. Super, super psyched about it. But now it's just kind of seemed, we've seen what we need, and it's time to just keep moving, keep rolling on, find somebody new.
Yeah, and he was coming off an injury with the Jets, and then he came down here and he missed half the year. He had off the field stuff too. He got a DUI, waved a gun at somebody. Like, it's just,
but that was already pending before we signed him.
Yep.
So we already knew that, and we still gave him some money, and then he didn't play half the games for us anyway. Like, I don't think I think safety was already a want, if not a need. So I think you still have to address it. Definitely, I would bring back Abram and Lonnie Johnson Jr. They played well when they played, so I would for sure bring them back, and I would still look at maybe adding another piece. But it doesn't really change anything because you can't rely on him anyway.
I mean, look, availability is the best ability, and Marcus May had a problem being available. Now, again, part of it was part of that suspension. We knew that was coming, but the injuries kind of hampered him a lot, and especially for the contract he had. So I do applaud the Saints being smart about it and not willing to pay somebody that's missing a bunch of games a ton of money. We don't need that. So I approve of that. Now, okay, I remember now the other safety news. I forgot to, I guess, make a graphic for. It's look, it's still pending. It's a rumor now. It's not news yet, Chris.
If Underhill said it, it's not a rumor anymore. Dude might as well work for the Saints at this point.
Yeah, but Tyrann Mathieu is working on a new deal with the Saints. Now that's what I don't understand. If it's a restructure, are we extending him, lowering the cap number, or we just lowering salaries? I don't know what we're doing.
Probably 2 or 3 out of those 4 options. I would imagine it's probably going to be a restructure with an extension, spreading some of the money out. He played well. There's no reason not to keep him in the building. And, if it helps your cap this year to get out from underneath, get out of the red, then, there's no reason not to do that, not to kick it out a little bit. Well,
I mean, Dave doesn't really like Tyrann Mathieu, so.
Yeah, as soon as he comes on a show, he can tell us that.
I was like, who's Dave? I don't know Dave.
Exactly. Yeah, he gives Matthew a hard time, bro. Like, every time he misses tackle. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
right.
when Matthew got here, he struggled a little bit. So, I get it.
I mean, but isn't safety more like an offensive lineman type deal where you only get the spotlight put on you when you screw up? Like, let's be real.
Yeah, except the lineman's not going to get a pick 6 in New England and change everybody's opinion.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, but I think he's still playing well. I love to see him at least in New Orleans for the next couple seasons, especially if we're going to be breaking in a young safety. I don't want to have two young ones back there and having them take their lumps. So,
if you're going to roll with Howden on the other side, it's definitely going to be important to have that veteran presence back there.
Between Howden and Lonnie Johnson, which way do you go on that? You think? I thought Lonnie Johnson, he didn't like really, turn a bunch of heads, but I thought he was consistent.
No, he played well. He was solid, man.
I thought so too.
If you have two guys and you want one of them to win, you want the younger guy to do it. Sure. You always want the youth movement who has the higher ceiling, and Howden's got the higher ceiling. So to me, you want Howden to win the job, but I feel okay about Johnson being back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at Howden like damn it, the guy's name escaped me now. Cornerback / safety, used to play for the Saints. They used to cut him and sign him like every year.
PJ Williams. You mean the guy who picked off Tom Brady for a touchdown?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Howden
is a legend around here. Remember his name.
Yeah. But that's the kind of player he is, though. Yeah. Now, surprisingly, when you talked about the depth at safety there, Craig, you brought up Abram. Mm-hmm. This is like I want to say a former first-round pick of the Raiders, of course. But this was a guy that was kind of deemed a bust because the injury, he got exposed in coverage a lot. And that's why he kind of transitioned to like an in-the-box safety only. Then after the injury, he just, went downhill. These last few games with the Saints, like it really amazed me that he picked up and played the way he did. And so for you to bring up Abram as like a solution to a problem, it's like, wow, he's come a long way.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I want him to be the starter, but like having him, he's a great locker room guy, and he's useful for the roles they have for him. Not to beat on the DA drum because I hate DA, but dude schemes the hell out of some defense and he puts guys in position to be successful. Right. And that's one of the things I think if Abram was in any other defense, he might not have played as well as he was, but that scheme puts guys where they need to be and they play well there. And he played well for us when he was in there. So yeah, I'd bring him back. He's going to be dirt cheap. No one else is beating the door down for him. There's no reason not to, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'll sign him again. He put together some good snaps, so I'm all for that.
Super hard to cut a guy when he gets a pick in week 17 against Tampa. It's like, what have you done for me lately? Well, you picked off Baker in a huge game that we needed, so that was pretty fucking cool.
God, we kicked their ass. That was great.
That's like, what a time to really kind of, he's trying to get a contract for this year apparently. So,
yep. So
this is a sidebar, but I have to say it while we're on the topic of safeties. How mad I am that Matthew couldn't just score on that pick six that he almost had and get it to the one. And now we have the whole mutiny and bull crap and I told him to kneel it and then have DA out there apologizing to the Falcons. If he had just scored the damn touchdown, none of that happens. Damn it, Matthew. I take it back. Cut Matthew.
But then Jamal Williams wouldn't have got a touchdown, bro.
I know, and I needed that, okay? I needed it so bad.
Yep. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick little break here. We'll be back in a couple seconds.
This is an emergency message. Stop what you're doing and hit the like button. Also comment and subscribe. Thank you. We now return you to your program.
That's right. Please pay attention and follow the directions. Dang all right.
Better than a Purple Valley prompt, I guess.
Listen, Craig, it's right there. I can hit the button anytime now. All right, so let's get to our topic, which is the title of our show here. Salary cap hell. So why are other people talking about other teams that's in salary cap hell? Because when they bring up salary cap hell, they're only talking about the Saints, and I'm really confused by this. Correct? Please let us know what's going on. Correct?
as Saints fans, we tend to kind of focus on our team because we're Saints fans, they're who we're looking at. So we're aware of our cap problems and we're aware of what's going on with our cap. Everybody who's listening to this and is worried about the Saints mismanaging money, go look at what's happening in Buffalo right now. They just cut Tre'Davious White, one of the best corners in football. That would be like if the Saints had to cut Marshawn Lattimore because of money. You don't see us doing that. We cut Marcus May, who's been hurt half of the time he's been here and wasn't making that much money anyway. Like the sort of stuff that the mainstream media wants to say that was happening to us, the ESPN, the Nick Wrights and all those jackasses that don't deserve to have our last name. They're telling us that, the Saints they could cut everybody and they would still be over. Okay, but they don't have to cut anybody and they're going to get back under in a month. And it's just the owner writing checks and moving things to bonuses and kicking cans and whatever it is. And then you got times like Miami and Buffalo that are cutting good players because they feel like they have to because their owners just aren't writing checks or whatever. That's cap hell. We have cap problems. We have cap issues. We're dealing with it, and it's kind of a pain in the ass, and we probably can't go swing and get the biggest free agent in the world. But we're not cutting starters because of it, Like cap issues, cap hell. Different levels, man.
This is a really good point there. Kyle, would you like to add to this?
Dude, if we're talking about mismanaging money, like Denver Broncos, like how is that should be the topic of money mismanagement. That is disgusting that they're going to pay Russell Wilson $85 million.
$85 million in dead money.
So you know what? We got our own problems, but I don't want to hear another word about us. Go look at Sean Payton and his dumb ass and his whole group that he's leading. That they're, yeah, man.
Oh, that overrated hack that Drew Brees dragged to being successful.
I am so petty and so butthurt.
Yeah.
I just no. Denver Broncos, shame on you. You guys just make me just sick.
No one can convince me at any point from here on out that Drew Brees didn't make Sean Payton.
So when I looked here on Over the Cap this morning, the Bills were number one with about 19 million in the red, pretty much. So now they're down here to 9 million. This is after they cut 5 starters, something like that, Greg.
5 starters, including a couple of really good ones. That guard they let go is a really good player. And as we just talked about, Tre'Davious White, stud.
Right.
Where'd he go to college?
Oh, yeah. He went to LSU. That's right, Craig.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But yeah, so the Saints are like 17 million over the cap right now.
Yeah, for now.
And we're not even panicked about this.
Nope.
At all, bro. We're not panicked about this at all.
By the time the new league year starts, we'll be in positive money and we're going to sign free agents, maybe a couple of good ones. It's just the way that we're doing things is, it's horrible. It's mismanagement. It's cap hell. It's working. And all these other guys just can't, Chargers are on this list. They're cutting starters. Dolphins are on this list. They're cutting starters. The Broncos owe $85 million to a guy who's not going to play for them. Of all these teams that are in this cap hell situation, we're the only ones that are dealing with it. So if anyone will tell me that the cap is a huge problem, it's only a problem if your owner's not willing to cut a check. And Miss Benson, God bless her, is cutting some checks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, she does.
Absolutely. She cuts those checks all the time. I worry that there's going to come a time where she's going to be like, no more checks. So we're not winning. But
if that happens, that's a problem.
Right.
But we're not there yet.
Right. But yeah, that's a concern of mine though. Just because we're just not getting that return on investment. I don't believe. Because we're not making the playoffs. We're not beating freaking Tampa.
I mean, we were a field goal away from the playoffs last year, and we would have played the Eagles, who fell apart. You could say that we're a field goal away from a run in the playoffs last year. So it's not like the team is coming out there and spending all this money and cutting these checks and kicking the can down the road and winning 4 games. We're competitive. We watched every single game, every quarter of every game last year because we were in it until the very end.
We were in the playoffs this season. The morning games were over with, and we were in the playoffs. So I don't want to hear from anybody. The 2 touchdowns that Carolina had called back in a 9-0 loss still to this day hurts my heart right here.
So I get that we didn't make the playoffs and that we underperformed, but you can't tear it down when you're right there. Like you need to fail first. You need Dennis Allen to really tear this place apart before you can start worrying. You can talk about a rebuild. You're not there yet. You're still competing.
I mean, we had the Lions on the ropes. We had the Jags. There's so many of those games that you can throw out there and say, wow, we were right there.
Dude, we were down 21-0 in the first 3 possessions to the Lions and ended up being right there at the end. Like the team played hard in a bunch of these games. The Rams game, we were gotten blown out and it ended up being an 8-point game, came back at the end. So the Saints have the talent. They have a lot going for them. They're not a bad football team. They're just not where we want them to be yet. We're a good draft away from being contenders, but we got to see how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, a good draft always brings you back into contention.
And every time 17 did to you.
Yes. A good draft. So now, Kyle, I don't know if you agree with this, but I have a philosophy when it comes to the draft and how to make this draft good. All right. I think we should find players from actual big schools and draft those guys, not small school guys,
like SEC schools,
like SEC schools. Kyle, yes,
a guy who started all 12, 13, 14 games for an SEC school compared to a guy who played at Northern Iowa.
Kyle.
I don't care what his nickname is. No, man, he's a failure. We just need to look at it in the face. Craig, I know you loved him, and I was
when he's
super
starting
excited.
This year. Y'all gonna shut up?
His name was Big Nasty, and it sounded great. It sounded so good. I don't care, man. A guy that played the best schools in the country are in the SEC. You draft a guy who fell down the charts, for whatever reason. For arm length or this, all the stupid things that people want to nitpick at the draft, at the combine. No, man, I would have taken a guy from Tennessee or South Carolina or any of those. I'm not even talking about Alabama, LSU, Georgia.
I want to get Dallas Turner from Alabama this year.
That's cool. That would be great. I would love that. But even the guys that played against those 3 schools, I'm talking about even a Missouri, Jesus Christ. Give me an SEC team.
I thought you said SEC, not like SEC.
Missouri beat Ohio State in a bowl game. So there's
Ohio
that.
State.
No. We don't need to get into it. Third quarterback. Yeah, I know.
But Missouri school had a defense. That's all I know.
Yes, they did. Yes. So it is what it is. I'm going SEC, maybe like a Big Ten.
Okay, listen.
Give me like a Michigan.
I love Trevor Penning. I will
maybe,
defend him
maybe.
against you jackasses. I will defend Trevor Penning against you jackasses any day of the week because I still have hope. But yeah, dude, if you told me that we're going to draft nothing but SEC players for the next 10 years, I'm on board. Sign me the fuck up. I don't care. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Good players play in the SEC. And now the SEC includes Oklahoma and Texas. Gimme. Bring them in. The only problem I have with that is that we're going to lose that Ohio State pipeline that has been so good for us.
What's up, Chris? Bengals fan here. So, yeah.
Boo. I don't care where Burrow went to college. Screw you guys.
Okay.
Who dat, not who day.
Well, I'm with you there, brother. All right, our final topic. Derek Carr's passing, specifically over the middle pass. Can this improve under Kubiak? And got this topic from Central Port. This post pretty much said Derek Carr struggles, pass the ball over the middle, and a lot of his highlights were not over the middle. It was on the boundary. Same thing with Jameis Winston. He likes to pass the ball on the boundary. So when you start looking at Kubiak's, and it's Kubiak's film, right? It is his Minnesota offense film from a couple of years ago. Kirk Cousins was the quarterback. A lot of his production came to be over the middle of the field. And with Carr not passing the ball over the middle of the field, will this hurt him coming to the Kubiak offense, or will this improve under Kubiak because this is such a big part of his offense? What do you think?
Well, I feel like you kind of answered your question there, right there. So Carr didn't throw to the middle of the field, and then Jameis on the same team with the same offense and the same offensive coordinator also didn't throw to the middle of the field. So I'm thinking there might be a common denominator here, and his name is Pete, son of a bitch, Carmichael. Look, there is something to be said that he couldn't get the timing right on the slant patterns with Michael Thomas, which sucks. That was one of the big missteps of last year, was not really clicking together. But it's going to improve. If you look at those same stat breakdowns. Also, if you guys don't go on Stance Report, don't start now. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than Stance Report. Don't go on there. It's terrible.
Man, I was on there since
I got the article up right here.
They are the kind of people that are on Stance Report. Don't go on there. Look, all right. So that same stat about the middle of the field stuff, it is true until about 5 weeks left in the season. When we start working that play action more, he started hitting over the middle more. You see Juwan Johnson's usage go up. You saw the over the middle stuff go up. So the kind of stuff that started to work towards the end of the year included a lot of over the middle stuff. So it's not something that lasted the whole season. When Carr started playing well at the end of the year is when he started incorporating that part of his game. So to say that it's going to carry over, I would say we've already moved past that kind of an issue. At the end of last year, when he looked really good, and don't tell me he didn't look good at the end of the year, because you weren't watching the games if you did say he didn't. Towards the end of the year, over the middle was a lot of the game. Tight ends were a lot of the game. Mm-hmm. The kind of stuff that we wanted him to do from week one kind of started clicking. And if Kubiak is a good coordinator, and we all kind of assume he's going to be, he's got the pedigree, he's got all these reasons that he's going to be good. He's got a heck of a staff around him. If he's going to be good, he's going to incorporate that kind of play action over the middle, setting up those deep shots and relying on the run. And, it sets up well with what we have, and there's no reason it shouldn't be successful. Except for Dennis Allen. That's a reason. It's a pretty big reason. It's the only one I can come up with right now. The O-line and Dennis Allen are all the only people who can stop this offense.
Yeah, I'm with you. Derek Carr did improve later in the season. The play calling improved also later in the season. He started using a lot more play action and stuff like that, and Derek Carr looked a lot better. And he did start hitting some passes over the middle of the field. So do you think this is pretty much a non-issue here, Kyle? Since he approved?
Nah, I think it's always going to be an issue with Derek Carr, truth be told. Still, I just feel like I really do. For the money we paid him, I still haven't seen enough to make me confident. And the whole switching up his entire game plan and starting over fresh with a new offense coordinator worries me, because he did start to get in a rhythm towards the end of the season. How long is he going to take him this time with this system to kind of find his groove and find his space to where he can actually succeed? How long how long into the season do you think it took for him to really have that Carmichael offense down?
That's a fair point. He does tend to start slow in new offenses, and this year I think the injuries kind of played into that, and it made it take longer.
It made it worse for sure. Definitely made it worse, because he should have sat down a few of those games. I'm telling you, the games you didn't.
That first Tampa game, he should not have been in uniform for that first Tampa Bay game. That should have been Jameis Winston's revenge game against Tampa. And we didn't get it.
Oh, that would have been so great. And then we would have loved to see that. We would have loved to see that.
Would you love to see that, Jackie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His name is Lee, goddamn. I'm thinking Max Garcia, we need to sign him. Trey Turner needs to come back.
Trey Turner.
And then we had what? It was
I would very much like to re-sign both of those guys.
Cameron Irving
can walk.
Irving came in when he filled in for Ramczyk, didn't he?
He played well.
Is Irving the guy who played week 18?
Yeah, I believe so.
I take it back. Give him $100 million.
He filled in.
Yeah. Remember I was talking about the bus man
we put up 41 points.
Being hurt.
Yeah.
Never mind. Keep him around. I'm back on board.
I need protection.
30 offensive linemen, and everyone else plays both ways.
Oh my God.
Honest to God, if you really what want Carr to succeed, come on, let's be real. What what's the number one thing an offense needs to succeed, no matter what? You need good O-line play. Craig, you can back me up here. Got a whole podcast, Big O podcast. We need our O-line to play better. I don't care how well you think Derek Carr is going to play. It means nothing to me if we can't block and we can't move the ball. So it's really those three guys we could bring back. We could sign a big free agent. Maybe
as much as everyone was trying to fire Pete Carmichael and Dennis Allen, the worst coach on that staff last year was Marone, because he had so much draft capital, so much talent to work with, so many guys that were ranked really high and have all of the measurables, and they couldn't put it together. So from week one, the starters were on the left tackle, Trevor Penning, first-round pick. Andrus Peat, former first-round pick. Eric McCoy, former second-round pick, but very high in the second round. I think he was the first pick of the second round, if I'm not mistaken. Right guard, Cesar Ruiz, first-round pick. Right tackle, Ryan Ramczyk, first-round pick. You're going to tell me 4 first-round picks and a second-round pick, and that's the weakness of your team? That is a failure in coaching. You can't tell me that they just missed on all of those guys. You can't miss that many times on that kind of grade, right? The problem has to be coaching. The guy is fired. One of the godfathers of the run offense that they're instituting is now in here as our O-line coach. There's no reason to think we're going to regress. I want to add pieces. I want to draft pieces, but it can't be worse. It just can't be.
We've said that before.
No, not like this. Not like this. You're talking about there is more capital put into that part of the team than any other position group combined.
Right.
And it couldn't, and it was the weakness of the entire offense. Like it makes no sense that's the part that fell apart, because that's the part they put the most work into. It has to be coaching, and it has to get better, because if it doesn't, this team's not doing a damn thing.
So Kyle, what would you do on the offensive line? Are you signing Pete to play left tackle, and you doing something different at left guard, or what are you doing?
Pete really kind of drives me insane. That is one dude. We're talking about stability. We're talking about, someone who's going to be there for you. And he's just not. Like, we've seen it how many years? When did we draft him? How many years has this been to where he plays well when he's in there? He's versatile. You can move him back and forth. We've seen him play left tackle decently well. Just like the whole being injured, you're playing this week, you're out next week. You're playing this week, you're out next week. I just can't deal with that as a fan and somebody watching this. It really just it drives me insane to not have stability like that, especially at the most important position. The 5 most important pieces to your offense up front, and you can't have them. You need them for 17 games. If you give me like 14, 15, I'll take that. That's more what we're looking for. Which is the first round. I feel like nowadays it's like unheard of, but at the same time,
watching the injury report for Andrus Peat is like being a Pelicans fan, where you have to check Twitter to see who's actually going to play each night.
Yep.
I hate you for that one, Chris.
Ingram's going to play this time, but Zion's out this week. Oh, okay. Next game. Okay, well, Zion's back, but Ingram and it's the same thing. You got to check every injury report.
You ain't lying, bro. It's so accurate.
I'm right there with you, Craig. Right there with you.
But look at me, man. I'm a Lakers fan.
Now you got to remember, those Saints got salary cap problems, and so Pete could be a cheap option to bring back to start at your left tackle.
Oh, he better be cheap as hell. I'm just saying. I'm not paying a whole lot of money to somebody who I
like the idea of I like the idea of paying Pete, because he can start at guard, he can start at tackle as a stopgap. I don't want him. He's not a solution anywhere. So you bring him back, and you can find the best free agent or draft pick available at either spot, right? So if there's a good tackle available, not a good guard, okay, we'll get him, because you can get Pete to play guard. If there's a good guard available, there's not a good tackle available, get him, because Pete can be a stopgap at tackle. So having that flexibility kind of increases your odds of finding a good player at one of those spots. So for me, I pay the man. Hopefully not starter money, but but maybe starter money, man. You gotta. He played well, and you need a stopgap. You can't trust Penning and Hurst to be there. Hurst is my least favorite player on the team right now. You can't roll him out there at any spot. Don't rely on him.
Yeah, that's the one I want to replace more than anybody.
Yeah, I like Trey Turner a lot more than I like Hurst. Even Irving, the way he played at the end of the season. Yeah,
I would pay Turner. I would pay Garcia. I would get Pete back, and I would really, really hope that Penning is your left tackle.
So
most upside,
according to Over the Cap,
I know
this is Over the Cap now. They're saying Pete is worth about $4 million.
4? I would sign him for 4 a year.
So
I think he's going to demand more than that. He can play left tackle. That pays a lot of money. If you can get him for 4, sign him tomorrow.
That's what they say.
I'm sure Pete does not think the same. He's sitting there. He's sitting there thinking I'm worth like $10 million, and
look, he started.
He could probably go somewhere and get it.
That pays. You get paid playing left tackle.
Yeah. So we still have like $13 million in dead money. If he goes somewhere else, so it benefits us financially to sign him to another deal.
Right.
Hopefully, again, nothing crazy, but so I'd probably give him like $6 or $8 million.
Yep.
Just to give us another deal and spread this dead money out. So yeah.
Yep.
They
I agree. The best move is to extend him, spread that cap hit out, and make sure you have a versatile guy in the building. Yep. And hope that he stays healthy again, because he played pretty healthy this year.
Yep.
Hope? You mean hands and knees pray every single freaking week?
I'm a Saints fan, bro. I don't need help praying every week.
Well, that makes me include him every goddamn one you do. So,
and yeah, I got my old line coach like, yo, bust Trevor Penning's behind, and somewhere you take a guard in the draft, and hopefully you got an answer at left guard to get James Hurst the hell out of there. That'd be. I
like having Hurst on the roster because he can be mediocre to bad at any spot, but he's mediocre to bad. I don't want to see him on the field anymore. It's just not good enough.
Right. No starter minutes for him, just backup minutes. It's fine.
I haven't heard a thing about Trey Turner. No one's been talking about him. I want him back. Definitely. Yeah. I think he would have been pushing for playing time if he hadn't gotten hurt. So I really want him back in the building.
Absolutely.
And I don't care where he went to college, Dale. I want him back as a good player.
Absolutely. I am with you on that. So
Dale's the only person in the world that can make me root against LSU. I swear to God.
I'm confused. I thought Trey Turner went to LSU.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh.
See, you're throwing me off here. Now I don't even know what to think.
I'm trying to say I want him on the team because he's good and not because he was from LSU. Dale wants him on the team because he's from LSU.
I want both. So there we go. We're all in agreement.
I want you players because they're good. Like, this is the whole reason why.
LSU is an SEC school. We just
you're not drafting anybody from LSU's defense this year, I fucking hope.
Listen. There are parts on that defense that was still good. And I will take Justin Jefferson.
Parts, and that's what we're trying to draft right now.
Harold Perkins is going to stay at LSU, so he won't be good till next year. So next year, yeah, definitely.
But we draft him and try to turn him into a defensive end or some stupid shit like that and waste him like we did on.
Justin Jefferson's a good one.
Keep him away from us.
Mekhi Wingo is a good one. I take both of those players. They're going to help the defensive line guaranteed. Give me any of those guys from LSU.
If you can get Jefferson in the 5th, I'm taking him.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's where we're going to go.
After the 2nd, and I'm not picking him in the 2nd. So if he's there in the 5th, burn it. Let's go.
That's probably where he's going to go, like around that area. Like
we got like 3 5ths this year. So if it just pick everybody in the 5th, DGAF, do it.
No, I'm thinking Mason Smith in the 3rd. If he should still be around 3rd, he's like a day 2 kind of pick.
Are we talking draft targets this week, or are we doing that next week?
Apparently, we're talking this right now.
Sweat. I want that D tackle from Texas.
Sweat, the big one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want a run stopper. I want a big fat run stopper next to Brian Brzee and then be our D tackles for the next 10 years. That's what I want.
Yeah, I like this idea.
If you can't get him at 2, I don't know about at 14, But
see, I don't know about picking him at 2 though. You talking about a guy that's going to play 30% of the snaps as a big run stopper?
But I mean, that was the Achilles heel of that defense last year: running quarterbacks and stopping the run. And if you can at least shore up stopping the run, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So Dallas Turner and then Sweat. So give me D-line both picks.
If Dallas Turner lasts till 14, yeah, but he will not last till 14.
He might. I mean, look. So if I'm the Saints, I go up and get him because you need a pass rusher, right? Depending on what happens in free agency, you need a pass rusher. But there's so many quarterbacks and there's so many elite wide receivers and there's so many elite offensive tackles that some people are going to move up and go get their guy. So he might be there by default, not because he's not good enough, but because there's so many other good players that people are going after. So there's going to be probably 3 or maybe 4 quarterbacks picked in the first 15 picks.
Yep.
So quarterbacks making a run. You got guys like Neighbors and Marvin Harrison. I mean, wide receivers are coming off the board.
Two from Texas that are going to go top 20 for sure.
Yeah.
That's the second wide receiver. Right. Yeah. Worthy was the number 2 guy out of Texas, and then he comes and runs a 4.2.
Right.
Just blows the doors off. So
exactly.
Texas, why do I feel like the Raiders are going to trade up for a guy who ran a 4.2? It seems like a Raider thing, right?
I don't know if he's been arrested though, so I'm not sure they want him.
Give it a few minutes. He's going to play for the Raiders in Las Vegas. That's like the 2 things that result in the most arrests are playing for the Raiders and going to Las Vegas.
Yeah, they got to get that team out of Vegas, man.
Like trying to put a baseball team in Vegas.
The Oakland A's pretty soon.
Yeah, bro, you saw that stadium?
Dope looking, though.
Unbelievable.
Dope looking. I mean,
like, what the hell is going on, Craig? You're going to be back in California.
I want to whenever the Dodgers end up in Vegas. I want to go see a game where everyone is the visiting team because you're on vacation in Vegas.
Right.
The Raiders don't play home games anymore. I want to see that. I want to do it. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm so down. So down.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the strip and everything, man.
I'm going to propose to Cassandra strictly just to have a bachelor party so we can go to Vegas and watch a game. So
down.
Nah, it's
that's the whole reason I got married, dude. I got married for the bachelor party.
They're talking about 2028, and that's like, come on now. That's 4 whole seasons.
Dude, you got little kids. You blink and it's going to be 4 years later. Careful with that.
It's a good point. Yeah.
You ain't lying, bro.
I hear him screaming out in the living room right now. He's actually watching our show.
I came in this room and Dale didn't have any gray in his beard, and then I blinked and now it looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's how it happens, man. All right, well, let's go wrap up the show this week. Kyle, man, appreciate you coming on and adding to the conversation here. It's always better with at least 3 people, man. So.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Nice to see you too, Craig.
It does make me miss fantasy football a whole lot, Dale.
Yeah.
I mean, I went out and saw you guys. It was great time. But a little piece of me kind of hurt, not having a whole show to talk about. It's
Look,
sad off.
Having listened to y'all's
sad
show,
for fantasy players.
having listened to y'all's show and seeing how borderline mentally ill you guys all are and playing baseball, I'm just gonna just 1 year, just next year, I'm gonna take it seriously and beat all you guys just so I can show how easy it actually is because you guys make it sound really hard. So just next year, I'm gonna take it seriously, whoop all your asses, come on the show, talk a little bit of shit, and then retire from fantasy football.
Making the playoffs takes skill. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Winning the playoffs takes absolute luck of the Irish.
Type it in names on an Excel sheet is definitely the kind of skill that okay. Next year, let's do this, guys.
I have never made an Excel sheet in my life, and I have many trophies in my case. Okay.
There you go.
What is that? I don't even care. I don't care. Cheers, guys.
I think we need to have like a Wright brothers bet, and the loser has to wear the pink shirt. How about that?
Yeah, beer bet.
First off, I wear pink shirts all the time. I'm comfortable in my masculinity. When you're a 350-pound offensive lineman that can bench 400 pounds, people aren't questioning it. You can wear pink whenever you want.
It's true.
You're good.
That's true. Nobody's going to bat an eye.
Beer bet on Kyle. A double. 2 beers. Big old Stein.
Okay.
I like it.
Didn't you just recently find the Das Boot.
I found the boots.
The
That's right. I was
Das
packing the
Boot.
boxes. I found the boots.
Dale, you got to see this thing, man.
Wait, what?
Yes.
I mean, it's from the movie Beer Fest.
Dale has never seen the movie Beer
originally.
Fest, and we can have a whole show explaining that to him.
Jesus.
Okay. Beer Fest. Okay.
Watch the movie Beer. You don't understand me if you don't watch the movie Beer Fest. Half of my life is based on that movie.
Why would you send me a picture of this thing so I can put it on the show?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
next show we will.
Shouldn't put it on the show. We should drink it on the show. That's what we should do.
That'd be good too. That's even better. Put it on the show and drink out of it. There you go.
I wish there was something we could beer bet before, that'll happen in the next week or two.
Free agency is coming up. Beer bet free agency.
Yeah, the Saints break my heart again and sign somebody that we think is going to do great, and then kind of underwhelms.
Well, then you have to wait for the underwhelming part.
It's
Kyle, you're a bummer.
there's no way. There's no way
You're a
we
bummer,
can.
Kyle.
I've grown to be absolutely. Yep.
All right. Let's wrap up the show this week. We appreciate you joining us, Kyle. Craig, as always, good to see your face, man. Everybody out there, Who Dat Nation, only a few more weeks ago, we got some draft coming up and things gonna be picking back up for us. And
Free agency's coming, draft is coming. We got stuff coming.
That's right. That's
We're
right.
gonna draft Alice Turner. Apparently, it's great. We've got
Yeah,
all this
that'd
coming.
be dope.
That's what
That'd
we're
be
doing.
dope, bro.
All right, man. We'll see y'all later. Who dat?
Cheers.
Remember to follow us on social media at BS and Beer Media. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and share with friends.